showing out, making moves, no doubt. FFA pride, it's what we're all about. From classroom dreams to real world flair, we got the stories you won't find anywhere. Beyond the jacket where the stories unfold, voices of the future, fearless and bold. Tune in now, let the passion ignite. It's more than a jacket, it's a way of life. Beyond the jacket where passion meets purpose.
Welcome back to Beyond the Jacket. I'm Paige, and today Rachel and I are sitting down with someone who is no stranger to the mic. Farm-for-profit host, Iowa farmer, and proud FFA alumni, Corey Hillebo. Corey's someone we've gotten to know not just through agriculture, but through the world of podcasting. And what's even cooler, he still proudly fits into his FFA jacket. A reminder of where it all started and how far he has come. We're excited to dig into his story, hear how FFA shaped his confidence and career path, and learn what it means to stay connected to your roots long after graduation. Let's jump right into it. Welcome, Corey.
Thank you, Paige. Thank you, Rachel. And it doesn't look like I would fit into that. Like, it looks smaller in the screen. But I did prove it to you last week. So maybe I might, at the end, maybe I'll have to put it on for you.
Yes, I think that'd be a treat for the listeners that are watching for sure, because I did not believe, oh my gosh, my voice. I did not believe that you would fit into it. And he actually, contrary to my beliefs, he did fit into it.
You know, when my mom,
I can't remember.
It zipped all the way up. It actually fits pretty good. Probably not with this sweatshirt on. I'll have to take that off. But I will say, when my mom gave that to me, when they moved, I was probably 30, 40 pounds heavier. And I don't think I did fit into that thing. So, yeah. So at one point,
I'll be able to fit into mine a couple years down the road. I can almost guarantee it. It's so
nice. Here's the secret, Paige. In 2006, that's when I graduated. It was pretty popular to have. That's wild. It is pretty popular to wear baggy clothes, and so that's probably why I can still fit into it.
Well,
I would say though, okay, like when I was in FFA, I remember our freshman year when we ordered our jackets, our advisor was huge on, he wanted them to be really big on us because he thought we would grow into them every time. And so I remember he always ordered us men's jackets. They were really big. My first one is probably like still fits like a giant winter coat on me. But then when you become like a district officer or anything like that, they get you a custom made jacket with your measurements. And so my other ones are tiny compared to that first one I had. But it always makes me giggle that my first one was huge.
That's great.
I remember when I screened for state office, they were like, what's the size of your jacket? Well, I was in class or doing something and I just size like 32 or something like that. I gave it to the guy and I get to state convention and I'm like, okay, well, if I do screen in, like I gave him all the right sizes, I gave him all the things. I realized my jacket was a 34 and not a 32. So I sat there all week stressing, like, if I am like a state officer, am I going to be able to zip my jacket on stage? It stressed me out all week. Anyway, we're past that point. I didn't have to worry about it. I wasn't a state officer, so we're okay. Yeah. It's all good. It's so nice to have another podcaster on the show, Corey, of course, with Farm for Profit and all your amazing accolades there. How did FFA kind of start your journey in agriculture?
Yeah, so go all the way back to the year you were born. That was the year I graduated high school. That was kind of the epitome of my FFA career, but it started in 2002 as a freshman in high school. I think I took some classes, like FFA classes when I was in 8th grade, but you really, in our high school, you couldn't start until you were in 9th grade. But leading up to that, I was in 4-H. So that kind of got me started showing, pens of steers and heifers at the county fair. Always had some pigs. Those were kind of my two main things that I did. I branched off into some other things when I got into FFA, but that was like my base. But I specifically remember my advisor when I was in 8th and 9th grade. And I only had him 8th and 9th grade because then he took off, but Mr. Carpenter. And he put such a impact at a young age that I knew I had to be in that club. I mean, I grew up on a farm, a corn and soybean farm, and had a few cattle, like I said, with the 4-H staff. But I really didn't want to go back to the farm. In my younger age, I was more into sports. All my friends were in town. And it was probably about that time. I still loved agriculture. I just didn't know if I wanted to go back. I still remember when I got into FFA, that is what kind of changed me. And it's like, no, I need to go back to the farm.
That's inspiring. 'Cause so many kids. Go ahead, Rachel. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, so like when you're thinking about, the past that's led to the future here now today, we started talking about creating this podcast. What did your participation in FFA have to do with that? Because I think when Paige brought us this idea to start a podcast for youth in agriculture, especially surrounded by FFA, Tanner was unfamiliar, one of the other co-hosts with Farm for Profit. Like, he knows what FFA is, but he was never in it himself. So you were kind of the guiding host on that team to say, I was in it. I know that this has a huge impact on kids. What was your role in that, I guess?
That's because he's a nerd. That's why he wasn't in FFA. He's saying something in the background in the other room. I can hear him mumbling. FFA is huge, right? Even if you're in agriculture, it's easy to get in your own lane and stay in that lane. It was corn and soybeans, right? And I could have done that without FFA. FFA allows you to explore how amazing agriculture is and all the little nooks and crannies there are to it. It gets you out of your comfort zone, right? That's you would never think like I can't remember what it's called, the speaking deal.
The extemporaneous or the prepared one?
Yes, the extemporaneous speaking or whatever, however you say it. I did that, and like
me too.
I was scared. But I thrived in it. Like, it forces you to just like, it's like that movie, which you guys probably never seen, where it's like, I just blacked out. Like, what happened? And you did amazing. Right. And so it just digs deep down in your soul and finds something and pulls like greatness out of you. And that's what FFA is. It puts you in that situation and you fail. Right. But then you do better next time. So that's what it means to me, is it expanded my world to networking and opportunities that I never would have had if I would have just stayed in my own lane.
I was going to say,
I was laughing because all he does is extemporaneous speaking these days. As a podcast host, that's really what you're doing when you're having these conversations with guests. You're making it up as you go. Yeah, a lot of the time we'll have an outline and or Jess will make an outline for you guys for Farm for Profit. Or for this one, we have an outline and we kind of follow it, but it's mostly a conversation that is just flowing any which way. How do you feel about like what you learned at FFA? Is that what you use today?
Yeah. And, looking back, I enjoyed speech class. So I don't know why I never put the two together. Like, I love that side of things where I actually had an outline to talk about, but FFA is agriculture, right? Why am I speaking? And I'm pretty sure I got thrown into that last minute. I think someone was sick or something, and I had to go to the state level, and I was like the second person or third person, and I actually ended up doing very well in it. I didn't win, but a lot better than people thought for being thrown in. So, I mean, that is exactly what we do today, and I think I prefer it that way, and it's probably why I don't look at the outlines as much and why Tanner and you get frustrated at me. It's like, on the outline, well, yeah, but I like it to be authentic. I want it to be me. I want it to have a personality, and ask the questions. And the same with like Dave, our other co-host, is like, he's even further out in left field than I am on some of these topics. So it brings, there has to be a mix though, right? Like, you do really well when you prepare, especially for topics you don't know. But man, some of them organic questions that just pop into your head or statements, that's the money shot right there.
I can say when I was preparing for national extempt, which a lot of people like had no idea, like I worked with Farm for Profit and Beyond the Jacket was in the works this time last year. Like, being able to like schedule y'all's episodes and listen to your episodes, it helped me prepare to compete, because I knew nothing about corn or soybeans or anything like that. And listening to the episodes and working with all of you helped me prepared. But I can definitely say, Corey, when you said it was like a blackout situation, I don't remember any of my speeches I ever gave. Anytime.
Yeah.
I can remember the prepared ones, kind of like you were saying, because they're so beaten into your head over time. But man, oh man, I couldn't tell you what any of my speeches were about at National Convention. But At the beginning, I hated it, and I was scared to death. And now it's my favorite thing I ever competed in, obviously because I did so well, but also because I am able to talk, and I am able to hold a conversation no matter what age you are, what background, and I have a little nugget of knowledge, and it helps propel you forward, especially in the college scene these days where you're talking to professors all the time. Whew, it helped a lot.
Absolutely. You get into college and you get into classes where you got to step up in front of people. All these, I remember as a freshman, you get into some of these English classes and things, and all these freshmen that pop up that never were in FFA or didn't get out of their comfort zone are just sitting up there shaking, getting terrible grades, not getting their speeches that they need to. And for me, it's secondhand. It's no problem.
Yeah. My teacher,
Corey for every public speaking thing now.
there you go.
That's the thing though, is I physically don't love to schedule, and like I don't know. Maybe it's like I don't think people want to hear what I have to say. If I have to say something, I will.
Corey's very type B, and Rachel and Tanner are very type A. I'm seeing the different worlds right now.
Yeah.
I will say, though, I do think that Corey's right to an extent. When Tanner and I prepare something for an episode, like, I feel like this is exactly how it's going to go. And I think every time when it doesn't go that way, I'm surprised. And I don't know why, because I know that there's going to be a question or there's going to be a comment made during an interview that wasn't prepared ahead of time. And so every time when they're like, oh, we got into this, I'm like, how did you even cross that bridge and get to that road? Like,
that's the glory of a podcast. I mean, haven't you ever heard a radio show or a speech of someone you can tell they memorized it word for word, and it's almost like they're reading it, and it's not authentic. That what they're saying might be great, but that's not real.
Mom calls it a robot.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think that's why it goes really well when we have multiple hosts of a show, because you're getting three perspectives, three different people that prepare a different way. Obviously Dave's one for Farm for Profit that always brings like real world experience from a different avenue almost of agriculture, and then Corey's bringing that family farm traditional sense, and Tanner's bringing that I prepared the outline and I know exactly what we're supposed to be covering during this episode, which I think is the same for us on Beyond the Jacket. Paige has this outlook on FFA that she's been a current member of the organization. She knows what's flowing through it. I was a past state officer, so I have a sense of what goes on for those people. And Lacey just brings this whole mentorship capacity of being a really active alumni member that I think is what makes our podcast successful and kind of drives that conversation to make it authentic too.
Yeah. Fun fact, I was an officer in my local school, FFA. Do you guys want to guess what my officer was?
I think I know what it is, so I don't want to guess.
Oh,
Paige,
goodness.
you go first.
Treasurer, maybe. No,
I think you were the Sentinel.
Sentinel.
Oh,
Because I'm
You're by the door.
And I remember we bonded over that because we got to welcome people.
Yes.
But what a good job for Corey, I feel like. Especially I can imagine how like exuberant you were then.
Yeah.
Were you an officer?
I didn't want to be an officer, but they made me.
Did you only do it once or multiple years?
I think I only did do it my senior year. Like it was just I was very involved in everything else. It's like, I don't need anything more. Like I love FFA, but it's like, I don't need any more responsibilities at this point. Now Sentinel, like you could argue, I really didn't have that much. So it was a good role for me.
I do remember like my responsibility was I had to write everybody's names down that came through the door for our secretary. That was like my one role.
Yeah. I did feel power. Like I could kick someone out if I wanted to, in theory,
Well, there you
like
go.
I was like the bouncer.
Yes.
Oh, Sentinel, bouncer. That should be like I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was an officer every year. I started in 7th grade, and then every year till senior year, I was an officer.
Oh my gosh.
It helped me a lot. It taught me a lot. Oh my gosh.
Was that enough to do every position?
I wanted to. I wanted all the major positions. It was like a personal goal of mine was to be president, vice president, secretary, treasurer. I was treasurer my freshman year of high school, president my 8th grade year, and then vice president my sophomore year, president my junior year, and vice president my senior year. I felt better like being vice president than I did president. I know that was a lot right there for a second. Sorry. Because like I liked doing things. I was like the workhorse, if you will. I didn't like to be in the spotlight and like delegate and tell other people what to do. I always felt bossy. So if I could be vice president and do things for other people and kind of be behind the scenes, I felt like I was contributing more. So that was my little time of fame and my favorite position over the years. But it helps now, like when you have team assignments or even here on Beyond the Jacket, working with Rachel and Lacey, just trying to figure out things. It's definitely give me those soft skills to move forward. What was your SAE, Corey?
It was the livestock to begin with, because that was the easiest, cattle and hogs. But I did break into, while it was still livestock, I ended up having 100 layer chickens with my girlfriend in high school, and yeah, I did all the work. And we even had little hats made and all that kind of stuff. So I got into the poultry side of things. Never grew up with chickens or anything like that. So that was
this.
This is awesome.
Know about your chicken days.
It was called Hi Ho Farms, and yeah, we had little hats made. And I tell you what, back then, it was everything I could do to break even selling eggs. I mean, it was like, I remember when I raised my price from 75 cents to $1 for a dozen eggs, and people were complaining, and it was terrible. And I remember like cutting, you know, this is my SE project, so I'm watching my costs and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, oh, we can cut out, what is it? The oyster shells for the calcium of the eggshells. We can cut that back to not as much. And I remember the chickens started laying rubber eggs. Like there was no shell on them. They were soft. I'm like, oh, shoot, we can't do that, you know. But the stuff was expensive, and
trial and error.
I should have come to you for pointers about chickens. I had no idea that you were a chicken.
I got out of those chickens and never looked back. I would love a small flock down the road, but our neighbor here, we live in a small town, so we are not out in the country, but we have a cornfield on two sides of us. Our neighbor has like 8 chickens, so I get enough, you know. When they're gone, I got to take care of them. So
that's probably enough for now. I feel like when we had 12 at one point, and I was still overwhelmed with eggs sometimes. Like when they were all producing at the same time, I was like, I'm getting a dozen a day. I can't get rid of them fast enough. Like, so I was just calling people. I was like, do you want eggs today? And Matt was always one of those people that was, for those listening, Matt is my husband, but he was always checking, okay, are we actually making money on these? Because I think we're just not. And I was like, well it's more of a hobby at this point.
It was a typical farmer move too, because I did not account for my time. Really, I mean, if I did, it was very minimal. I just figured I had to see my girlfriend anyway, right? So I might as well, because the chickens were at her house, which was a great excuse, right? So to go over there and see her. But 100 layers, I mean, not all of them are laying, but that's a lot of eggs to wash every day, and it was all by hand. Like we did not have any fancy egg washers, so.
The washing is what always, like, I would have my nephews come over, and they were very good at it because they were pretty young at the time when we had ours. And washing is like a delicate process. I feel like sometimes it's like you get caked on stuff, and I don't know, it's a lot more work than people anticipate when they're like, oh, I'm just going to get a backyard flock quick. And the eggs start stacking up, the washing starts stacking up, and there's just a lot to do.
Yeah. Another cool thing I did, and I don't think it was my SAE, but I just really, really enjoyed it, was our school had a greenhouse. And so we always had a plant sale in the spring. And I remember just really geeking out on that. Being able to grow something year round was pretty cool. One of my big contributions was we did a bunch of geraniums. They're a really easy plant to propagate. Like you don't have to plant them, you can take little cuttings. But finding those little foam cubes that you could take a cutting and dip and put into that instead of soil. And we made all different kinds of like multicolored geranium baskets and all these other flowers and all that. It was really fun. I enjoyed that process.
I did the floriculture CDE like my senior year, and Rachel, we've talked about this. I don't have a green thumb worth 1,000 miles, and I mean, we do cattle. That's all I've ever been exposed to. We used to have citrus, but that was before I was born. And so as far as plants and floriculture and horticulture go, that's so out of my wheelhouse, but I wanted to do it because it was something new. Oh my gosh. One of those times you fail and you are just like, well, I made it through. That was the time for me. The lady asked me what type of flowers I used, and I went blank. I
Yeah.
didn't even know what I was doing. I was like, well, there we go. I'll just stick to my cow.
I just loved it because when I got into that, it was a greenhouse, right? But there was nothing else inside of it that was state of the art or anything like that. So like, just here's the problem. These plants are drying out. We need to put in a misting system. We need to put in that, like figuring all that out, the processes. That was really fun. I specifically remember, I think it was my junior or senior year, I thought I'm going to grow the largest pumpkin in Iowa because we have the largest pumpkin in Iowa contest at the state fair. Rachel, I'm sure you've seen it outside the building. They're sitting on the pallets. They're anywhere from 400 to 1,200 pounds. And I did all this research. I bought the giant pumpkin seed. But the key to that is you have to start it way earlier than anything can grow outside in Iowa, because the state fair's in the middle of August, and normally pumpkins are ready to go, for October. And I had this pumpkin started in the greenhouse, and really nothing else was going besides a few plants. We hadn't started getting ready for the plant sale too much. And the advisor at the time, I think he was having a bad day with the 8th grade class for the freshmen, and just told him to go out and get rid of the weeds in the greenhouse. And it didn't make it. So, because it was on the ground. It was the only thing growing of value on the ground. Everything else was up on tables.
Yeah.
So
Oh my gosh.
I was, that was probably the end of my
We should
greenhouse.
try this again this year, and we can see if you can get in.
I would love to do that. It's very interesting if you ever research that, like what you have to do. You pick all the other flowers off, so you put all the energy into one.
I knew that part.
Yep.
So they do another contest in the town over from us for a large pumpkin as well, for Pumpkin Fest. And I think one of the pumpkins that has been in that contest maybe won the state fair one. Possibly. I'll have to look at that. But we always go look at them, and I'm like, this thing is massive. Like, they're normally on pallets. People like move them just like a little bit at a time. And I think they try and like rotate them or something too, so they don't get like a
big sunspot
on them or something, or they put a blanket under them. And
if you win, you have to carve like farm for profit in the side of it. That's what you have to do.
If you win, Rachel will probably fit in the pumpkin.
I would fit in the pumpkin. Why would I get in the
that's
pumpkin?
how big it would. Because if we carved it, you could get in it.
That's true.
Be like a
it would
pumpkin
be more
hot
fun
tub.
for Corey to get in it, though.
Yes, I do agree with that. I do.
We should have like a camera on at all times. You can watch the time lapse of it growing.
Yes, we can have a pumpkin live feed.
Yeah, there you go.
I love these ideas that we're doing.
Farm for profit SAEs beyond the
There
jacket.
you go. Our attempt at it. Watch us fail.
Well, how have all of these skills with all of the different CDEs, LDEs, and things that you've done, Corey, kind of transferred into now where you're at in agriculture, your career, college, that kind of jazz?
I think it just all culminates to saying yes more. Like I said, when you get out of your comfort zone, you're more comfortable in situations where you normally wouldn't be. Talking to people you wouldn't normally talk to, going to different meetings and being involved in your community, that I would have just probably been a hermit and not done. So I don't know what specifically it did. It made me long to be better. Right. And, it's not always what you know, it's who you know, and the networking and the friendships that are made and the skills that you gain just open up doors to anything you could ever want, really.
The networking is so real. This wouldn't be happening if it wasn't for FFA networking. Like, put that in perspective, moving forward.
And just random chance that we found you on a train on a sugar tour in the middle of South Central Florida, so that was pretty cool.
There you go.
Like she was like a missing child. You didn't find her, you met her.
That fun story. You never heard that? Yeah, Paige was just out on the side, and we just picked her up on this train.
I was
that part is
please pick me up.
Not true, folks. They met her on the train. Okay.
My mom and I
saved her life.
I was a legit person. Don't worry.
They were.
You guys did share that photo. Maybe Kiowa can put it in here, but you guys shared that photo like a few weeks ago, and I did not know that Paige was in that photo. So I was like, you guys keep sharing this photo, and I'm not understanding who that is. Because your hair was a different color.
I did. speaking of high school relationships, I had a boyfriend who liked blonde hair, so that was, I guess, my time to shine as a blonde for a little while. But now I'm
It's like red.
So are you natural hair now? Is that your natural color?
Yeah, it's naturally very dark.
I didn't think that you could really go blonde from that dark.
There's a lot of
Were you
bleach.
in my blonde stage?
Rachel, you were blonde?
Yeah, I was like bleach blonde at one point in college. I'm not proud of it.
Kiowa?
I wasn't proud of mine either.
No,
Please find this for us.
Yeah. So I think everybody kind of has a blonde stage, but yes, I did not recognize Paige in that photo. And so for a couple days, I was like, they keep sharing this photo and I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do with it. Finally, I like sat down and I was like, oh, that is Paige in the photo, the curly hair. I was like, okay, this is making more sense. It just didn't look like you at the time.
I even had a blonde stage. I mean, even though I am kind of.
I have a
blonde,
photo
yeah.
of Corey in his blonde stage.
It was bleach.
Kiowa
blonde.
needs to make
It was orange
a reel
almost.
of all of us in our blonde picture.
I deep stalked him. Just kidding. I think, Corey, you sent me that photo of you with your blonde stage. Sometimes I'll ask for random photos from the guys that we can like share on social media for different things. And Corey was at his parents' house one day, I think, when they were moving maybe, and sent me like a whole, not book of photos, but I got quite a few good ones in there that we can use for time to come, I feel like. But it's always fun to reminisce on some of those things. But
Yeah.
Back to FFA, Corey, if we're thinking back to your FFA experience, what is like your best memory you have in the organization?
Oh boy, best
That puts me on the
memory.
spot, for sure.
And I'm probably just traveling to all the contests, and it wasn't the actual contest. It was just hanging out with the people that you really. So like I said, I was in sports. So every night you go to sports practice and you hang out with your same team. FFA is always different, someone different in this or that, and it seems like it was always someone, and it wasn't just the senior class. You had everyone from freshmen to seniors, and it was probably just the hanging out with like-minded people that you didn't think you would have been hanging out with. So the what did I say the other night on my TikTok? It's not the destination, it's the journey, and the journey of all of it was great. And that's why I can't put my finger on like, oh, that was a moment that just shaped my life. It was the whole thing. The whole experience.
That makes me kind of reminisce on like my own experiences. And when you said it's the journey, I instantly thought of several car rides I had for FFA experiences where the car ride itself, I don't remember where we were going, what contest we were going to, or what different thing, but I remember the car ride itself because it was that memorable, because of the people we were with. But our FFA advisor was always a hoot. So always a good drive. Okay, we have a couple rapid fire questions. Paige, I didn't send these to you, but I'll read them off. And Corey, you can just answer them quick to go. Okay, what is early mornings or late nights? What do you prefer?
Man, it used to be late nights, but I'm probably more early mornings now. As you could see on Slack, I think I was up at 4 this morning responding to Allie's text.
Yes, all of you were. I was like, I'm trying to get my beauty sleep here.
If it's after 10 o'clock now, I'm like, man, this is past my bedtime.
What did you get? You guys started texting at like 9:30 the other night, and I was like, I think I'm just gonna put my phone on Do Not Disturb.
Yeah,
I'm working at 9:30 at night.
I'm an early bird, staying up late on occasion, but I have to go to bed.
I think that changed when I started taking care of pigs because I used to like to stay out, go to the bars or do whatever, maybe, go hunt, hang out with the boys, and early mornings, you had to be up early with the pigs anyway, so it just sucked. So I just started going to bed, and early mornings became enjoyable.
There you go. Paige, I shared these in the outline, so now you can see them.
Okay. I will pull those up.
What's your best convention or your best memory? If you could describe FFA in one word, what would it be?
Networking.
That's a good one. I think.
Yep.
I think we've talked a lot about that. What's one farm chore you actually enjoy? Is it the pigs?
Oh, I enjoy a lot of farm chores. Honestly, it is taking care of the pigs when things are going right. The pigs are the easy part. it's everything else around them, the buildings and the water lines and all that. When you can take a pig or an animal, you can put it to any animal that's maybe not doing so great, and you nurse them back to health. Like you had a hand in that. That's probably my favorite.
What's a piece of advice you would give to a freshman in 10 seconds?
Just say yes more. Just say yes. Like
I agree with that one.
Yeah.
And I think to the same extent, if you're a person that says yes all the time, say no more. So it can
Eventually you will need to say no.
Yeah.
That is true. Like I used to say yes too much. I used to have a huge network of friends and all that. Like at some point in your life, you do have to curve that down. But when you are a freshman and that age, you have to go experience things, and some of them won't be fun, but it's gonna teach you what you don't like to do. That's gonna shape you as a person, right? Because that's why when you go to internships and all that through college, it's very important to do that, because sure, you find what you like. The more important thing is you find what you don't like, and then you don't get stuck in a career that you go, boy, this wasn't cool.
That's something I always talk about. Like when I talked at Iowa State a few weeks ago to some of those students, like an internship is just as much about you and what you want to learn and about what you want to know if you are good at or want to keep doing, or what you want in a manager, than it is about like them liking you at that job, I guess, because you're not going to have that internship forever. It's an 8-week trial run of, okay, do you like doing this? Do you like how your manager does this, this, and this? And so I always encourage students to write those things down, because you'll also forget what you don't like until you're back in that situation again. And you're like, oh, I didn't like being micromanaged, or, oh, I really didn't like, this part of whatever it is in that career.
Yeah. And to piggyback on that, for a little bit more here, when you're going to those internships and you're interviewing, it's so easy for people, oh, did you do the mock interview? Did you answer the questions? I never saw it that way. And I think that was part of FFA preparing me for that, was I actually turned around. I'm interviewing this company to see if I want to go. So I'd answer their questions, whatever, but I had a list of questions longer than they had that I could confidently ask. And it every time would get, almost every time would get a response of like, you got the job, or here's an offer. And then I got to pick where I wanted to go.
That reminds me of when I interviewed for Farm for Profit. I didn't even know it was an interview because I was asking so many questions amongst Tanner and Corey when I was trying to figure out, is this a role that I would want to take on or something like that? So I think it's important that when you're looking for a full-time career position, are you wanting that to be a long-lasting relationship, and what does that look like to you? What is a sustainable job that's going to last you 10 to 20 years look like? And what are the things you're going to need from your team in order to be successful in that position?
Now you flip it around. I'm not a good interviewer.
Yeah. He's good. You're good at the podcast though. So there you go.
It's kind of just interview.
There you go. How do you feel being behind the mic as a guest versus an interviewer?
I love it. I would almost rather do this sometimes. It's nice to not have my brain in the background thinking about what's the next thing I need to ask while still trying to pay attention. That's great when you have 3 hosts, because you can do that. But when Tanner will even tell you when he has to do one by himself once in a while, it's like mentally draining. You do a couple of those in a day and you're like, I just need a nap.
Yeah.
I had a day, 3 weeks ago now, and I had 3 or 4 episodes in the same day. By the end of it, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to go to bed. It's like 7 o'clock, but I think that's where I'm heading. But I mean, the kids are great. The podcast is great. Rachel put a cool question in your outline, and I'm also like you, Corey. I don't always stick to it, but this one kind of spoke to me. If your FFA jacket could talk, what would it say about you now?
Oh, I was going to say, it'd probably say wash me. I saw when I moved it over here this morning, I had a couple of stains on it.
Can you wash them? I think I got mine dry cleaned.
It'd probably have to be dry cleaned. I think it would just be like one of the guys and say, boy, we had some good times, didn't we? And some stuff you can talk about, some we can't, that's what it is.
I'm now thinking about how much sweat is just built up on all of these FFA jackets, because I just wash it, and I don't recall how many times I would have taken mine to the dry cleaners.
I took mine to the dry cleaner every single time. every time, especially like after fair and showing. That thing's nasty.
Guys, I don't think I did. I'm gonna have to ask my mom.
Oh
That
goodness.
is the one thing.
Yeah.
These jackets are corduroy and
That's
thick.
really
Like, can
concerning.
we get like a summertime outfit for FFA?
Like a
You know,
vest.
okay, so I remember when we had to, like, when I was a state FFA officer, you were at the fair all week and you had to wear your FFA jacket on. You had to wear your full official dress on a specific day. And it was so hot. I remember sweating so much in it. And then that was the same jacket I wore for most of the year. But I don't know that I got it dry cleaned afterwards. And then they allowed us to get new jackets before state convention because they looked so rough. Like they had been through the ringer. So we did get a new one. But yeah, I'm wondering, like, you know, why don't we have a summer outfit for those that are competing in like CDs? Those things are hot, you know? You're sticking to it. I'm gonna have to go home and try mine on, actually.
Oh my goodness.
So do you have multiple jackets then, or did you get rid of the one?
I think I have 6.
Holy cow!
Actually,
Make a
I'll
blanket.
count them when I get home. Yeah, my mom has them in like a full thing that they're enclosed in because I don't know what I'm supposed to do with them. I have thought about turning a couple of them into like pillows or something fun. But just
You
haven't
got your
thought-
sewing class. I think you should make a full body corduroy suit.
Ooh, that could be cute. That could be cute. I am seeing like FFA jackets are coming into style for like thrifter people and like different people who wear antique stuff and vintage things.
Cody sends me that TikTok every time it pops up. Every single time.
know.
He like sends it to me. He's
Every
like, you
time.
need to fact check this. Like,
Every time I'm like, oh, I want to wear mine, but then I'm like, oh, I'm not supposed to. Like it is a cute fashion thing nowadays, but yeah, I'll figure out.
Are we
what I'm
not
gonna
supposed
do.
to wear them?
You're not supposed to wear them if you're not active FFA member, I don't believe. Is that
I'm a
correct,
lifetime
Paige?
member. I think I bought the lifetime membership deal. Does that count?
We're going to have to look this all up. Maybe
We'll
we'll
fact
call up our friend Shannon Latham at the Iowa FFA Foundation and ask her for all the criteria on who can wear an FFA jacket. That would probably be a good thing to get out there.
And who's gonna stop them if you're not supposed to wear one? That's the bigger.
Paige.
Call the cops.
woo! She signed me
FFA
to
police.
real fast.
There you go. I do have. Actually, I have this up here. Just a second. Let me wait.
Oh boy.
I have a huge plaque that is like corduroy too, as well. But I should like hang it on my wall or something, so that way during these podcasts, you're like, she does have some FFA experience.
Yeah, your wall's very boring.
I know. I just haven't done anything in here. I don't know.
The Christmas
That's my
tree.
printer.
That's my
I can see
picture.
the Christmas tree.
Oh, there you go.
There you
That's
go.
all fun stuff.
Okay, back to our fast-fired questions. Now that we've gotten way off topic, what is one ag innovation you're excited about right now?
Ag innovation, you said?
Yep.
Probably all the sprayer technology that's coming. We get to do some pretty cool or see some pretty cool stuff with John Deere that between the see and spray, and it's beyond just seeing a weed and spraying it. We learned at Tech Hub Live last summer that they're even going to be able to implement different lenses into these cameras to see disease in specific plants 3 weeks before the human eye would ever see it. So no longer would we be spraying a whole field with fungicide. We could spray that specific plant, and then we can start doing that with like nutritional deficiencies and things like that. So I think that's pretty cool.
That's probably one of the coolest things that we get to do too, is talk to students that are interested in all these different avenues, especially working at Farm for Profit. I feel like we get to hear about different things as far as like technology and where things are going in agriculture. But my viewpoints on what ag is has really expanded since we started Beyond the Jacket, because I feel like we just had a student the other day that was talking about 3D printing bike parts for their trial bikes. Is that what it was, Paige?
Yeah, it was a trial bike.
Trial
It's
bikes. I always want to say trail
coolest
bikes. It's
thing
trial
ever.
bikes, but yes, but just like doing different things that like I never really understood or thought would relate to agriculture, FFA, and FFAs really helped them thrive in that area. So it's cool to see. But
I mean, the
Okay.
craziest thing is
Oh.
agriculture is a part of everything in the
Mhm.
world, right? I mean, you can draw it back to anything. So it is vastly expansive. It's crazy.
It is. You'd be homeless, and you can't live without agriculture at the end of the day. But
Yep.
Thank you, Corey, for coming on. We were so happy to have you on and join forces with Farm for Profit and hear a little bit about your FFA journey. I pray your FFA jacket continues to fit forever, hopefully. Cross our fingers. For our listeners, thank you for listening in once again, and be sure to catch our episodes every Friday.